I said to Amabel, she was, I think, in the kitchen or somewhere, and I said, there's a telegram for me. And she immediately came out and sort of gave me a little hug. And so I looked at the telegram and said he was missing. And so we looked at each other, and as she felt the same way about Paul, that nothing could really happen to him. And so I think we went in and had a cup of tea or something, nothing very dramatic. And then they kept saying if I wanted to go home, did I want to go home? Well, I didn't want to go home because I felt I was going to be walking out on Paul. If I went home, if he came back, I wasn't going to be there. And New Zealand House. And then in the end, they said if I didn't go, I wouldn't get a free ride home. So I came back on the last troop ship from Britain. I didn't hear really for 9 years what had happened. And by then I was married to Stan, and we were at Wigram, and the air member for personnel came down visiting Wigram, and we were having a cup of tea, and I said to him, I'm surprised that Paul's name isn't on the Runnymede Memorial. And he said, why should it be? And I said, because he has no known grave. And he looked at me and he said, but Paul was found. He didn't say Paul was killed or anything. He said, but Paul was found. And you can imagine I felt somewhat faint, because you can imagine all the things that went through my mind. Then, was he found dead or alive? Had he gone mad? Had he decided he didn't want to see me anymore? Was I a bigamist? Was he still living somewhere? Was he with somebody else? Or what had happened? I think really the only time when I really knew that he no longer was somewhere in the world was when I saw his grave in Belgium, and seeing his name there in this beautiful, beautiful area in the Ardennes. It's nice to know that he's there.
Let us be determined to so work that the name of our country, New Zealand, shall remain high in the annals of history and respected by all nations. That means that we must not let up until Japan also is defeated. We must not let up until the maximum food and other supplies are sent to starving Europe and Asia. No let up until we've made our major contribution inside and outside our own country to the building of a better world, in which security will be available to all peoples in all lands of whatever color or creed they may be.